Recent months have seen escalating tensions in the Middle East, with the US increasing its military activities. A primary focus has been the Houthi rebels in Yemen, supported by Iran. The US deployed advanced B-2 Spirit stealth bombers, capable of penetrating enemy airspace undetected. These bombers can carry a range of weaponry, including the massive ordnance penetrator. The deployment was a clear message to Iran and its allies. This move was part of a broader US strategy to project strength in a critical region. The deployment of B-2 bombers to Diego Garcia was a significant strategic move, showcasing the US military's ability to project power across the globe. This remote island in the Indian Ocean serves as a critical logistics hub, enabling rapid response to emerging threats. The strategic importance of Diego Garcia cannot be overstated, as it provides a launch point for operations across the Middle East and Asia. 6 bombers, about 30% of the US B-2 fleet, were sent to this key logistics hub. This deployment not only enhances the US strategic reach, but also serves as a deterrent to potential adversaries in the region. The presence of these advanced stealth bombers sends a clear message of strength and readiness. Satellite imagery confirmed their presence, signaling US commitment and capability. The images showed the bombers lined up on the tarmac, ready for any mission that might arise. This visual confirmation reassures allies and warns adversaries of the US military's preparedness. The US also increased its overall force posture in the region, deploying additional troops and equipment to bolster its defensive and offensive capabilities. This comprehensive approach ensures that the US can respond to a variety of threats, from conventional military engagements to asymmetric warfare. The USS Carl Vinson Carrier Strike Group joined existing naval forces, creating a dual carrier presence. This formidable naval force enhances maritime security and provides a powerful platform for air operations. The dual carrier setup allows for sustained operations and greater flexibility in responding to regional crises. Additional Air Force squadrons and missile defense systems were positioned to reinforce US bases. These measures ensure that the US can defend its interests and allies in the region effectively. The deployment of advanced missile defense systems also provides a shield against potential missile attacks. The US conducted targeted airstrikes on Houthi positions in Yemen. These precision strikes aim to neutralize threats and disrupt hostile activities. The airstrikes were part of a broader strategy to stabilize the region and support allied forces on the ground. President Trump issued strong warnings to Iran and the Houthis, threatening further action if attacks continued. His statements underscored the US resolve to protect its interests and maintain stability in the region. The administration's firm stance highlighted the seriousness with which the US views these threats. The B-2 deployment aimed to pressure Iran to stop supporting the Houthis and re-enter nuclear negotiations. This strategic move was seen as a show of strength, aiming to deter any aggressive actions from Iran and to bring them back to the negotiating table. The B-2 bombers, known for their stealth capabilities, were a clear signal of the U.S. military prowess and readiness to act if necessary. The deployment was not just a military maneuver, but also a calculated political message, emphasizing the U.S. commitment to maintaining stability in the region and protecting its allies. Iran responded with defiant warnings, vowing retaliation if attacked. The Iranian leadership made it clear that any aggression would be met with a strong and immediate response, showcasing their missile capabilities and military readiness in various public displays. These displays were intended to demonstrate Iran's ability to defend itself and to project strength both domestically and internationally. The rhetoric from Tehran was unyielding, signaling that they were prepared for a prolonged standoff if necessary. The situation drew international concern, with calls for restraint. Diplomats from around the world urged both sides to de-escalate tensions and seek peaceful resolutions through dialogue and negotiation, emphasizing the potential global repercussions of a conflict. The United Nations and various international bodies highlighted the risks of a military confrontation, stressing the importance of diplomatic channels and the need for a multilateral approach to resolve the crisis. French President Macron engaged in discussions about the likelihood of a US attack on Iran. He emphasized the importance of diplomacy and the need for a collective international effort to prevent further escalation, meeting with various leaders to discuss potential solutions. Macron's proactive stance underscored the European Union's commitment to peace and stability, as well as its role in mediating international conflicts. The presence of B-2 bombers was monitored by global powers like China and Russia. These nations kept a close watch on the developments, analyzing the strategic implications and preparing their own responses to any potential conflict in the region. The geopolitical landscape was complex, with each power weighing its options and considering the broader impact on international relations and regional stability. In early May, the US downgraded its bomber presence, replacing B-2s with conventional aircraft. This move was seen as a potential de-escalation, signaling a shift from aggressive posturing to a more measured approach, possibly opening the door for renewed diplomatic efforts. The decision to replace the B-2s was interpreted as a gesture towards reducing immediate tensions, while still maintaining a robust military presence in the region. This move suggested a possible shift towards diplomacy, though underlying tensions remained. The international community continued to watch closely, hoping for a peaceful resolution but preparing for any eventuality as the sands of geopolitical strategy continued to shift. The situation remained fluid, with the potential for both conflict and cooperation hanging in the balance, as world leaders navigated the complex dynamics of international diplomacy. The backdrop to these maneuvers includes the unresolved issue of Iran's nuclear program, which has been a point of contention for years. The international community remains divided on how to address this issue, with some advocating for diplomatic engagement and others pushing for stricter sanctions. The US withdrew from the 2015 JCPOA, leading to increased uranium enrichment by Iran. This move has escalated tensions and raised concerns among global powers. The decision has had far-reaching implications, affecting not just US-Iran relations, but also the broader geopolitical dynamics in the Middle East. The Trump administration cited the Gaza conflict as a pretext for heightened military readiness, deploying additional troops and resources to the region. This action was seen as a demonstration of US commitment to its allies and a warning to its adversaries. The initial deployment of B-2 bombers aimed to deter Iran and the Houthis, showcasing a show of strength and military capability. These actions were intended to reassure regional allies and deter potential aggressors. The later withdrawal suggested that immediate deterrent objectives were partially met, but the long-term stability of the region remains uncertain. The withdrawal also raised questions about the sustainability of such military interventions. This episode highlights the delicate balance of power in the region, where military actions and diplomatic efforts are constantly in flux. The interplay between these elements shapes the future of the Middle East. Future US administrations will need to consider whether to rely on military pressure or invest in diplomatic strategies for long-term peace. The choices made will significantly impact the geopolitical landscape and the quest for stability in the Middle East. The path chosen will determine the region's trajectory for years to come.